Alright, we've actually got a lot of packages, and I'm wondering if this one actually is DVDs or not. I say DVDs, but you know, I actually mean DVD or Blu-ray. I didn't actually check the from, and it's pretty big. I see. Such a blind man. So I think I'm going to try and open it from the side like that. I mean, it might be, because this looked like Right Stuff packaging, and maybe it's a big set. It's actually feeling more and more like some sort of big set. But let's find out. It's heavy, whatever it is. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, so that is definitely anime. Next box. Gotta be careful when you're cutting towards yourself. You're not supposed to do that. And there's some risk there, because with my hand here and this here, if I slipped and it goes up there, then I'm jabbing my thumb. It's a little knife thoughts. And while the scissor isn't a knife, it is sharp enough to be practically considered one for the purposes of what's going on in this video. Okay, that looks like... Let me double check. I'm pretty sure this folded up piece of paper, yep. Address. Just put this here so y'all can stare at it while I open the next box. Oof, sorry. I keep bumping. Oh, yeah, okay. Now I know why. Let's see. Right Stuff got a couple of things. Oh yeah. And this makes sense because for whatever reason, now I got these three packages. For whatever reason, maybe I'm just double. Oh. Okay, cool. I'm just double checking those real quick to make sure that wasn't a hentai. I couldn't really tell, but usually when there's lists of 3 episodes like that, it's indicative of something like that. Let's see. Okay, it's interesting because this is yellow packaging, but it doesn't have the normal Amazon smile that would be there and indicate that this is the top. So at least do that. Should be able to rip the rest of it open. There's some risk that this could be the majority of the remainder of this month's anime, because I ran into the problem where a lot of stuff wasn't on Amazon. I think mostly the Sentai releases, so I ordered from Right Stuff, but Right Stuff ships as soon as they get stuff in stock, whereas Amazon they're sticklers for street dates for stuff. Good news is, this means it's a really big update. Bad news is, as I'm unpacking this, I was kind of hoping that this was actually predominant Decon stuff. Basically, that Kickstarter for the US manga release of it, I guess they're starting to ship stuff, and I'm not keeping too close track of it, since a lot of my goal was to just... I'm actually going to set this aside. I need all the space to look at this. My goal with funding that one was just... I heard that the series just has a bad reputation for its subject matter, but for all intents and purposes, it's actually a fairly innocent story. And I really hate the idea of perfectly fine stories being censored for no fucking reason. And that's why I'm like, yeah, okay, I guess I'll do this, because I'm curious. Granted, I don't read manga, but we'll see. So, yeah. I was wondering why I had a Gundam Seed box, since I'm pretty sure I had another one, but this is Gundam Seed Destiny. So this would be a companion limited edition box for the similar Mobile Suit Gundam Seed 1. Jesus Christ. If that's what the inside looks like, then maybe those Blu-rays can be... I see. So this is a book, and this is the reason it's mostly heavy. This... I don't remember if this had anything in it or not for the original. That makes me think that no, it did not. So this is really a box set for the purpose of having a really physically intimidating set. And I would say they did a good job on that. It's really weird. It was just some of the paper packaging settling. I was curious. Ooh. So yeah, most of this is an art book, but I see a lot of text there. Do I remember how this anime even ended? I remember not being a big fan of just the general idea it presented of the sides maybe being a little more gray than I thought, when it was really clear that one was aggressive, but maybe it didn't. I don't know. HD remaster project. So I think these are the HD remaster. It says here Collection 1. This is probably HD Remaster Collection 2. Yeah, Remaster Project Collection 2. So the idea is this is an ultimate set where here you have the Blu-ray release of the HD Remaster 2, and then this would probably be TV series plus special edition collection. SD. So, you know, this would be the original series that aired. And it should be understood that I think Mobile Suit Gundam Seed and Gundam Seed Destiny by extension might have been close enough to that point in time where they were digitally done, but they were digitally done in a lower resolution, so there isn't really anything too upscale. So you'd have something that either fills in the blanks, or you have people working on filling in the blanks. 3 discs. And then this one is CE 73 Stargazer. What the fuck is this? Interesting. Let's see. Now, assuming that I'm not a dum-dum, which side was the front? More importantly, which side would I want to be the front? I guess I can choose. I do like this side being the front. All right. Now, let's turn this pile upside down. Go through it. Because next up we have Fate Grand Order, Warrior Magician. There's something more to this than it's saying. But honestly, that text is a little small for me to read, so y'all get to read that. And Fate Grand Order, the movie, Divine Realm of the Round Table, Camelot, Wandering Agateram. You know, I'm reading the reflection of that there. But okay, Fate Grand Order, the movie. And this feels like I can throw away the plastic. Y'all saw last week how annoying it is to put these plastics back on, especially when they're really going to take off in the first place. Let's see, because that is neat, but I bet this is one big image without it. Not the most impressive big image, because, you know, the back here is just a little bit of cloak, but that's still pretty cool. Got an art book. And well, I'm curious. I just definitely find a lot of trouble trying to keep up with all the Fate stuff. This is similar, except you've got the arm to the side there. Got the disc, got the soundtrack. Yeah, it says CD up there. Alright. Next up we have Rent-A-Girlfriend. Looks cute. And the same money can't buy you love, why not try renting it instead? Which is definitely a fun turn of that phrase I've heard before, especially even in a Weird Al Yankovic song. But I'm pretty sure he didn't come up with the term either, so not sure what to think about it. I did see that there's an English dub. Region A, 12 episodes on 2 discs. Oh, they're cute. I don't know if that necessarily means it's a sort of show where if I watched it I would say, oh yeah, I kind of care about this character's relationship with them. It doesn't necessarily mean it will do it wrong, but it does mean that the premise it at least starts with makes me think, you know, that's a hurdle it already has to overcome. I'm looking up. Next is Maid, Please. Absolutely not for children. Oh, this one is a hentai. Maid service that keeps on giving. You know, kind of racy on the back, but not too bad. Why don't we open this? Oh. It's, the plastic is definitely a little tenacious, but I'm going to have to open it off camera. Just because I don't know if the inside is going to be more than I want to risk showing on camera or not. Oh, it's actually kind of boring. Not bad, just, you know, boring. Alright, that gets set aside. This one's kind of important. Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? 3, Familia Myth. And I mentioned Season 2 had interesting things happen, but it kind of felt like a kind of meh-ish season, because it kind of was spending time away from its main story progression by doing something that could be called world building, maybe. But it felt like it paused, and it ended with a cliffhanger that definitely had me curious for Season 3, so this is high priority. We see English audio, Region A, 12 episodes, plus OVA on 2 discs. And I think the other material I mentioned is that Sword Oratoria, which is hers, is kind of a little weird, because it's trying to tell its own story intermixed with the happenings of the first season. But it feels like they almost have to have her slightly switch between 2 characters in order to pull it off, which I didn't think worked. Next up we have Happy Go Lucky Days, which looks happy. And I'd say go lucky, but, you know, to me, it's kind of a saying. Maybe I have a vague idea of what it means, but for the most part, I'm not sure what to expect of this, because it definitely looks very slice of life. And the plastic here is choosing to stick like an annoying piece of crap. Let's see, this was the one with surprising secrets, hidden feelings, forbidden loves. So it could be a romance. Japanese with English subtitles, Region A. It's a movie. Come on, camera. Focus. You can kind of see the camera's having trouble focusing. Don't know if it's still having trouble. I think it kind of is. Maybe. Oh, this one's not an anime. This is Rick and Morty Season 5 on DVD. This is Shirobako the movie. Shirobako. Shop Factory, huh? Interesting. Region A. Shirobako. I thought this had been a Sentai release because I thought they released the series, but maybe they either lost the rights or they didn't have the rights to the movie. Which G-Kids seems to mop up things of that nature. It's good to have these different anime companies going for different kinds of stuff. Okay. That said, I did not watch the original series. Huh. Yeah. Oh look, there's a lot more characters. There's that weird eye patch girl that I keep seeing in the background, and I'm trying to think if it looks familiar. I don't think it does. Right, her right there. But that makes it look like it's an important character in some degree. Let's start putting that there. Oof. Next up is Bleach Blu-ray Set 13. Not that I'm looking too closely into this. You know, Bleach is just continuing to make progress. Coming out on Blu-ray. Did the series resume at some point? I don't remember. All I know is this disc does not belong out. And the one underneath it is not separating like it should. Come on. Problem with these thin ones. Wonder if I can keep up with the speed of a world you're not in. Alright. Next up we have Lupin 3rd vs. Detective Conan, the movie. I thought this was released on DVD and I never watched it. There was also a TV special. And I'm pretty sure I got that and never watched it. So I have to say, it's definitely still a curiosity. I see under audio, English and Japanese. Pretty straightforward packaging. But, you know, this looks like a, I mean, I'm pretty sure this is a Eastern Star Discotheque. And so, well, they have nice packaging. You know, they don't go, like, super above and beyond in there. I'd say they more give the show itself the love it needs. And then last but not least is Kakegurui. Guri. Season 1 collection. At this school, you don't bet on your grades, you bet on your life. Which is a little weird because, you know, for the most part, school isn't a gambling thing, so you know there is no betting. So I have to wonder what this is doing. It's trying to say that it's dangerous. But this cast of characters doesn't make it look like it's like 100% battle school. That definitely looks very dangerous there. So I have to wonder. Maybe the premise is that's the school and you have some regular normal character there or something. Oh. Before I put this all away, I noticed the Bleach stuff still sitting there. I wonder how long y'all were sitting there saying, "No, Giga, quick, you forgot all the shonen-y stuff." Which, you know, is Demon Slayer, Hunter x Hunter, and Bleach. Oof. Honestly, for some reason this has been harder on my back than I thought it would be. But, here's this week's anime DVD Blu-ray collection update. Okay, so, there's not really that much to talk about this week in terms of stuff I watched and stuff I did. The main problem is that Tuesday night, technically Tuesday during the day, I got a letter from the apartment complex, and 2 days later they wanted to have somebody come in and clean and inspect the chimneys. And I double checked with them that you know, this was a thing where everybody absolutely have to do it, including people like me who never ever intended to use the chimney, and so you know, I built up my entertainment center around that. But that basically meant I had to completely take everything down. And if y'all have seen everything I've had set up there, especially the complex network of cables behind it, you would know how big of a project that, I mean, not even just big, just enormously huge of a project that was. So, you know, basically Tuesday and Wednesday were spent doing that. Thursday was spent recovering from it with very little watched, and Friday, you know, was you know, my Friday friend. So pretty much the only anime I watched was Rising of the Shield Hero. Because for everything else, I'm just a little zombie. You know, spent the weekend more mentally recovering, and since I didn't have a thing out that I'm like, oh, I obviously have to put this on. You know, nothing got put on, and that was okay, because the weekend was then just spent doing nothing. Not even thinking too hard about watching stuff, not catching up on YouTube videos too much. I just kind of have fun, I think, playing Dead by Daylight. And, you know, I don't know that there's anything particularly interesting to say there. I guess I did have an interesting match that it's kind of a neat story. You know, little moments like this happen all over the place, but this one was kind of it had a lot of neat elements to it. So I was basically playing a build where my goal was to just destroy absolutely all the totems on the map. That's not necessarily a completely useless thing to do, but it's usually something that you should only prioritize if you've found out that there's an absolute reason to do it. And it's risky because there's a new hex called Hex Pentimento out there that will punish you if you cleanse all the totems and then the killer has a chance to light them all. And there's a part of me that was thinking it would be really cool if they got a chance to light them all. I'd totally like find a killer and celebrate with them or something like that. But yeah, this one is different. So my goal is to destroy all the totems, but you know, I'm still playing the match as smartly as I can. I'm not just trying to throw it. I'm just maybe not spending as much time on generators as I can. And how did I find out what the killer was? Well, this was playing on the Midwich map, which is the Silent Hill map. It's based on Midwich Elementary. It's basically a 2-floor, completely square building with hallways and stairways in the corner. It's I like the design. It's definitely a weird design. A lot of people don't like it or get confused, lost, or don't know what to do. And I can't blame a lot of them for that. I guess, so for me, you know, somebody goes down and I identify it as a Bubba. And another person goes down pretty quickly and I think people get unhooked. But for the most part, my allies are definitely on the newer end of things. And they are going down pretty easily. Eventually I do I think I did a rescue that got the Bubba on my tail. If I didn't mention it was a Bubba, that's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Leatherface, the Cannibal, Bubba. You know, he goes by a bunch of different names. And he chases me, but unlike the other people who go down, I actually put up a good chase, especially since, you know, he's almost right behind me most of the time, and I'm having to lead him pallet to pallet. And most of the pallets in Midwich are pretty unsafe. I might have dropped as many as 8 to 10. 10, more than 10 is possible. I don't know. We just went pallet to pallet, and somehow I kept him off my back until he did finally get me. But the thing that made it interesting was he responded to that by nodding his head yes. A sign of approval. He's like, okay, these other people are going down really easily, but I'm really impressed by the survival you did. So, you know, he hooks me, I get unhooked, but I resume my totem cleansing because I kind of am reading, yeah, we're on the verge of losing, but when he passes by me again, he nods again, and that's what lets me know, you know, his plan is to actually not kill me, basically. And that's also pretty common, although the way the interaction worked isn't as common. So, you know, this is all happening, and the reason I was going for totems was because most people were already on death hook, no generators were done. I'm like, well, I might as well go in here and cleanse totems because I was trying to cleanse totems for a challenge. And, you know, do as best as I can, but people are dead. I find the last totem, and then I ran up to Bubba. I think I ran up to him. It's also possible he found me, but I think I ran up to him because it's easier for me to find him. And at that point, we play this thing where he starts telling me which generators to do. And that's 5 of them, but, you know, I just hung out with him. And some of the things that make it neat are, you know, he found chests. He's like, hey, you should open this chest. And I came and opened it, and they were winter firecrackers. So, you know, I'd go to the middle of the room, throw them down, we'd get fireworks, celebrate, yay. And then he'd have me go back to the generator. And a sign of real faith on his part for me was that when we were going between, like, the 2nd and the 3rd, or maybe the 3rd and the 4th generator, we were in the hallway, and we passed by the hatch, and he looked at it and said, no, don't do it. And I could have jumped in there. He couldn't have done anything about it. But, you know, I showed my, yeah, we're doing this. I am spending this time with you. And, you know, we completed the generators, and then he told me to go into the hatch, and that was it. So that was pretty much my date with a pretty lady Bubba on Midwich. Maybe not as fun for the other survivors I was with, but it's still really interesting when little things like that happen. You know, there was we touched each other. The only sad part was that he apparently wasn't on PC, so he might have been on console, which could have contributed to why I was able to stay slightly ahead of him, because it's possible that controlling Bubba may be a little more on edge with console. You know, keyboard and mouse is just really good for really fine-grained detail in movement. Sorry. My dinner is like, no, we shouldn't be talking, we should be burping right now. I obviously disagree with it. But yeah, that was a really neat moment that happened. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this story of it being told, those of you who listened to this far, because the truth of the matter is I don't talk about as much anime here as I could. But yeah. Anyways, there will definitely be a room tour. I was just trying to think if New Year's would be any kind of problem for recording videos. I guess we'll have to find out. But yeah, there will definitely be another room tour as I normally do. I think the interesting thing this time will just be getting to see all the changes I made in front of the fireplace behind the TV. Because I decided not to plug most of that stuff back in. Part of it was, a lot of it was old video capture setup that allowed video capture data to go to multiple locations, including the old video capture one. But at this point, I think if I'm going to play anything and I'm going to video capture it, I'm just going to do it through the Elgato, so I might as well just plug in a thing to HDMI adapter and just keep it simple. Especially since everything else is. So, you know, a lot of the RCA cabling, I guess component and composite cabling, I went ahead and I'm going to be putting my DVD writer / VHS player probably in storage. A TV computer that boots, but it had it software, I don't know, something needs to happen with it. Probably I need to get another slightly buffier PSU so that the graphics card actually has some juice, so then I can use the graphics card and the driver is not going to keep blue screening it because there's no graphics card. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah, that one I'm probably going to go into storage because I've got a better TV hooked up to the computer right now anyways. It looks a lot nicer. It's a lot more manageable. You know, I might feel differently if I hook more stuff up or if I want to do stuff again. But, yeah. It was nice to revisit that. It's just too bad that didn't happen as a part of me moving out into my own house, which I'm still sitting on my ass, not doing much about it. And I don't mean that I'm just sitting on my ass now. I mean, like, just not making much progress. Oh well. So, I think that's everything I was thinking about babbling this week. Y'all, have a nice one.